Hi, I'm Olivia Simonson. Will more California eagles potentially die from wind turbine expansion resulting from Gavin Newsom's new environmental law? And I'll take a look at how a legless lizard could stop energy production in Kern and Fresno counties.
Hi, I'm David Compton. Lithium-ion battery fires and their associated deaths are on the rise, and I'll take a look at how a new oil well technology could commercialize gravity energy storage.
Hi, I'm Myra Castro. Santa Barbara County is on its way to 100% renewable energy by 2030. And are there major changes coming to your electric bill? All these stories and more coming up on this edition of PowerON.
This episode of PowerON is sponsored by California Natural Resources Group, your local energy company meeting California's needs today while expanding us to the green energy future of tomorrow. Recently, Governor Newsom signed Senate Bill 147, a measure that will allow the California Department of Fish and Wildlife to issue permits for clean energy and other large projects that could result in the death of animals on the state's fully protected species list. Senator Shannon Grove of Bakersfield recently challenged her colleagues over the Bill 147 during a floor debate. Grove claims that SB 147 could remove golden eagles and southern bald eagles from California's fully protected endangered species list to allow the permitting. Upon further inspection, it seems when it comes to species threatened by extinction, California maintains two separate lists and two laws that govern them: the Fully Protected Species Act and the California Endangered Species Act. The new legislation allows the Department of Fish and Wildlife to issue permits for certain projects that could affect both species considered endangered or fully protected. The measure applies to certain solar, transportation, water, and wind projects. It cannot be used for permitting the Delta Conveyance Water Tunnel or any ocean desalination projects. It appears there have been exemptions to the past two species acts. For example, the Altamont Pass Wind Resource Area in Alameda County, where wind turbines kill 75 to 100 golden eagles every year. This is obviously a touchy subject, and the outcome is still open to debate, whether adding another layer of government to the permitting process will help or only create a loophole for exemptions. We'll be right back after this brief commercial message.
The world is changing, and so is our energy needs. We're proud to be your local energy company leading the way to the green energy future we all desire. We are Cal Energy.
Since 1991, lithium batteries have been used commercially and have had a history of sparking fires in notebook computers, smartphones, and even hoverboards, which led to recalls. But after years of research, lithium batteries have generally become safer. However, so far this year, there's been 108 lithium-ion battery fires in New York City alone, which have injured 66 people and killed 13, which is up from 98 fires that had injured 40 and killed 2 at this time last year. One of the biggest contributors has been e-bikes and e-scooters, which became popular during COVID when public transit was compromised. New Yorkers that purchase them typically charge the batteries in their apartments. However, once a lithium battery overheats or malfunctions, the speed and impact of lithium battery fires make them particularly dangerous, especially when people live in such close quarters in New York City. E-bikes are also quite often manufactured outside of the US and have made it difficult for victims to sue, as batteries are often destroyed in the fires, and even when they are recovered, they can lack identifying marks to trace back to a specific manufacturer or distributor who can be held legally responsible. Some New York City landlords have actually banned e-bikes and other e-mobility devices in the wake of all these fires.
In the past, your electricity bill was dependent on how much you used. But now, California's 3 largest electric utilities have proposed a plan to charge customers not just for how much energy they use, but also based on their household income. The proposal is one of several state regulators received designed to accommodate a new law to make energy less costly for California's lowest income customers. Some state Republican lawmakers, however, are warning the changes could produce unintended results, such as weakening incentives to conserve electricity or raising costs for customers using solar energy. The utility companies, however, say the measure would reduce electricity bills for the lowest income customers. These residents would save about $300 per year. However, California households earning more than $180,000 a year would end up paying an average of $500 more a year on their electricity bills, according to the proposal from utility companies. While the state has been at the forefront of green energy, it lags behind other states with its aging and failing power lines, according to an audit report to the California legislature.
It's the size of a pencil. It's got greenish-gray scales and thin blackish-brown stripes. It has no legs, but it does have movable eyelids and a detachable tail. This is the Temblor legless lizard, and it resides in a small patch of desert scrub and grassland within Kern and Fresno counties. It has only been found in 5 locations, 4 of which are on or next to oil and gas fields, with oil wells mostly owned by Chevron and Air Energy. A current proposal is in the works to list the lizards as endangered, and that could change the trajectory of energy in the regions. A University of California, Berkeley Museum of Vertebrate Zoology researcher and the foremost expert on the species recently was quoted saying, "They're so small. Unless you get down to look at it carefully, you wouldn't really know what it was. And your luck of ever finding one is slim." With energy vital to the Kern County economy, we'll keep you updated on how this story unfolds.
Abandoned oil wells have been a liability that's been getting a lot of press lately. However, there's a new startup who's working on its first commercial system using renewably powered winches to lift weights from the near bottoms of oil wells, and then later on, after the sun goes down and the wind stops, they lower the weights to run a generator that feeds the grid. The company is called Renewal, and it's based in Bakersfield, California. They have a simple gravity-powered system. In concept, the technology will let oil companies take a liability and turn it into a profit while generating rental income for their owners and preserving some of the property's taxable value to local governments. New innovations in energy storage is extremely important as California races toward its carbon neutrality goals of 2045.
Santa Barbara County is on its way to 100% renewable energy by 2030. At a recent board meeting, the County of Santa Barbara announced it is on the way to 60% renewable energy by 2025 and 100% by 2030, well ahead of State of California's targets. One of the keys might be the county's offering of rebates for vehicles, including motorcycles, along with new and used batteries and chargers. Additionally, for residences, there is $450 to $4,000 available for heat pumps, efficient air conditioning, and panel and appliance replacement. However, Santa Barbara County residents have been hesitant to give up their gas stoves. The rebates are still there for those who wish to do so. In addition to rebates, the City of Santa Barbara also has an aggressive solar rooftop program. Well, that's it for this edition of Power On. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button. On behalf of myself, Olivia Simonson, David Compton, Pia Ischel, and everyone else here at Power On, thanks for watching.